does 5G network affect human health? Well, before we take a look at this question, let's think about some things we may already know. 5G networks are designed to provide faster downloads, movie streaming, wireless communication, and better internet connection, just to name a few. But what really is 5G? Well, 5G stands for 5th generation gigahertz. And you may be thinking, wait, hertz? Doesn't that have something to do with frequency? You know, that weird F thing we learned about in physics class? But what does all of this have to do with me and my phone? In order to understand this, let's take a look at something familiar. This right here is actually an antenna, and the little things coming out of it are electrical charges in the form of waves. These waves travel all the way to your phone. Then, your phone receives them and responds with its own waves. These waves travel back to the antenna where they are switched and sent to your friend's phone, allowing for fast communication. This is all made possible thanks to something called electromagnetic radiation. No, radiation does not mean radioactive, but what we're talking about are radio frequency or RF waves. Remember the electromagnetic spectrum? You know, that thing that kind of looked like this with a rainbow and UV light and the danger zone all the way over here? Well, luckily for us, we're not taking a look at that, and RF waves are right here. But what does this tell us about RF waves, especially the ones coming from our phones? Well, some believe that they can actually go through our bodies and cause brain cancer. This is based on the SAR, or specific absorption rate. Each individual has a different SAR, but for the average adult, their bodies begin to absorb RF waves that are going at a frequency of 70 megahertz. What about 5G's frequency though? Well, that falls within the range of 10 to 300 gigahertz. That is 1,000 times larger than megahertz. So, it kind of makes sense that some people are concerned about this. So, does this mean our phones can cause cancer? Yes. Well, no. Actually, we don't know. In order to fully understand networks, let's take a look at some of the older technologies. 2G, 3G, and 4G all have relatively long wavelengths, which allow them to reach longer distances. But what about 5G? Well, 5G actually has noticeably shorter wavelengths, and this means that it can travel shorter distances. Therefore, 5G has a higher intensity, but it can't travel quite as far. Previous studies in some of the older networks actually concluded that their longer wavelengths can penetrate and harm the human body. But what about 5G? Does this mean it is the same for its high frequency waves? Could it be more dangerous to us? Actually, no. Studies conducted on 5G concluded that the waves emitted by it are so small that they can only be absorbed by the outer layer of the skin. Additionally, network antennas are so far away from us that it is almost impossible for them to pose a threat to our health. So that must mean we can all live happily ever after with 5G networks by our side, right? Sadly, no. Because companies such as AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile all have admitted to using 4G and 5G networks together, creating a hybrid network that can stretch to longer distances at higher frequencies. And all of this is sold under the name of 5G with no actual explanation. So could this new 4G, 5G network pose a threat to our health? Scientists wonder so too, and they think it could be true. But actually, we don't know. As of March 2020, the European Commission stated that it has not yet conducted any studies on the potential risks of 5G technology. The same statement stands true for the rest of the world. And until we have a conclusive answer, the amount of questions regarding network safety will only continue to grow.